Hi guys, this is a very important day in the cricketing calendar, and this is a historic moment too. Uh, we all have grown up watching Cricket World Cup. We have grown up watching the 50-over World Cup to be precise. But then, for the first time, it's the red ball which is going to do the talking. And to talk about the World Test Championship final, I have with me my colleagues Ayan Acharya and Shayan Acharya. Welcome, gentlemen. How are you guys
Hi.
feeling? It's a big event that's coming up. I mean, do you feel that the buzz is enough?
Yeah, surely. I think it's good to see something riding on a test match, on a one-off test match. We don't usually we have never seen that before. It assumes more importance given that there's a World Cup, a T20 World Cup, a format that sort of often is considered to be a big threat to five-day cricket happening just a few months down the line. So yeah, it's amazing. I mean, nothing comes close to the excitement of Test cricket, and looking forward to the action on Friday.
Shayan has been busy tweeting about the women's game today, but then tell us a little bit about your thoughts on the big final.
Yeah, like you said, Renan, it's a historic moment for Indian cricket per se because obviously the women's team has been playing a Test cricket after 7 years, and but obviously leading up to the WTC, I'm not too I'm not too sure, still not too sure about the format, but then it has been keeping in mind the fact that there's been a pandemic and there was a lot of permutations, combinations that needed to be done to make the competition alive. So ICC has done a fair job. You have to give them the credit. But yes, to answer your question, I'm not too sure how much buzz is there. Obviously, in social media, you'll hear a lot of things and all that thing. But then I'm told that that the some amount of crowd will be allowed to the stadium. That's definitely a good sign. And obviously, it's a big test for both New Zealand and India because they haven't won an ICC tournament for a long time. In fact, New Zealand won in 2000 was the last time the Champions Trophy, and for India also it was Champions Trophy in 2013. So it's been a long gap since, and both Kane Williamson and Virat Kohli will be hoping to make things work their way.
This brings me to the next, basically the first round of discussion about the teams, the playing 11. The 15 team players have been selected right now, but then there's going to be a final 11 there, and there are so many match winners in both the teams. I'm going to start with Ayan. Ayan, what do you think? Who are the guys in India and New Zealand? Who could be the game changers in this final? I mean, talking about nerves, talking about experience, maybe recent records as well, keeping everything in mind.
If I were to pick a couple of guys from each team, for me that would be Ravichandran Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja for India.
That's an interesting pick, considering he's picked both the spinners in English conditions. Tell us why.
Yeah, because we all know just how valuable a player Jadeja is, not just with the ball, with the bat, but on the field. And I have a strong feeling that he will make it to the 11. Of course, he will bat at 7, which means India will replace a proper batsman with a player who's essentially a bowling all-rounder. But we saw an improved batsman in Ravindra Jadeja in Australia earlier this year. He made that potentially match winning 50 at the MCG. So he's more the take your eyes off and hit the ball no matter where it goes kind of batsman. He's got a strong defense. He knows what he's doing. Of course, as we talked about experience, he's a more experienced player now. And let's not forget, I mean, if he doesn't make dents with the ball, doesn't make dents with the bat, odds are he will effect a very, very spectacular run out or take a brilliant catch near the boundary, which could turn out to be, match defining. So that's one. And Ashwin has just emerged as this big stage player. He seems to be, if not exactly like Virat Kohli, then a player in the mold of Kohli, who sort of likes big challenges. We saw him, make statements like, I was targeting Smith during just ahead of the Australia tour. He said something on those lines. Right. So the World Test Championship is a big final, and given the fact that he's not playing the shorter format anymore, or at least for the time being, this will mean a lot to him.
There's going to be a lot of hunger for sure.
Absolutely. So yeah, for India, those two. And New Zealand, Kane Williamson, you can never take your eyes off him, really. Didn't play the second test match. He'll be hungry. As you correctly pointed out, both Virat and Kane Williamson haven't won ICC titles yet. So that will be one big motivation. He's the number one test batsman, Kane Williamson, going up against his Indian counterpart, who's celebrated as an all-format great already. So Kane Williamson, and second will be Trent Bolt. Just that angle.
Yeah, of course.
And there's already talk about what kind of challenge he'll pose to Rohit Sharma. So yeah, those two from New Zealand.
Yeah, I'm sure that you were referring to that banter that Shane Bond was talking about. Okay, that brings me to Shayan. Shayan, this time the final is happening in England. It's an away condition for both the teams, and it's the first time that the Kiwis are going to be playing in Southampton. So, who are your players for the game?
I see. My player for India will definitely be Ajinkya Rahane because for a longer format, you have to consider. You have to count in on two players, Ajinkya Rahane and Cheteshwar Pujara. But having said that, Rahane is special. Could bring a lot to the table because having played in Hampshire in the county season a couple of years ago, he knows the conditions very well. And a player like Ajinkya Rahane, who's also the vice captain of the side, if he is adding, giving the input and motivating the players and all that, a little bits and pieces. Because otherwise, Southampton actually is a little, it's a beautiful stadium and it's very close to the port, and then all the facilities are there. But at the same time, the weather could be a little tricky there because obviously, people who are there are saying that it's very hot in Southampton, and obviously it's June, so it's quite understandable that it could get very, very warm. But having said that, there's a forecast of the rain as well. So, and it's a port town. So, Southampton rains can be very fickle. So, in the World Cup, we remember what happened. Matches where there were interruptions. So keeping that in mind, Ajinkya Rahane's inputs will mean a lot to the Indian team. And as far as New Zealand is concerned, I think the one player that we cannot afford to not talk of is Ross Taylor. One of the senior most cricketers of the team, and needs no introduction. He waits for his opportunities in this big ticket tournament. And in the press conference, he said that he would have perhaps retired in 2019 had New Zealand won the final against England. But that didn't happen, and he's here playing another ICC event final. And it's a very, very exciting feeling for him as well. But Ross Taylor is very important in the side because let's be honest, this particular side is heavily dependent as far as batting is concerned on Kane Williamson. And obviously, Devon Conway comes in and has added a little bit of confidence to the team. But then apart from the two, you need somebody to hang in there and anchor the ship. And that is where Ross Taylor's experience will come in handy. So for me, the two players are very simple. One, Ajinkya Rahane for India and Ross Taylor for New Zealand.
I have a very different pick from the two of you. I'm a big fan of impact players, and this World Test Championship, we have seen how much Rohit Sharma can mean to this Test side. And having seen his double 100 and the way he conducted himself in Australia, trying to give a start, not going after that ball, outside off, and trying to be patient. But then, that particular Rohit Sharma was very different. I think that change started from the Cricket World Cup when he realized the importance of anchoring an innings. So I think Rohit Sharma is right up there in my list. I know that there's going to be a lot of banter between Bolt and Rohit regarding that. He has problems with the ball that comes in. But yeah, that's what cricket is all about. It's all about the challenges. And the next player I'm going to name is Rishabh Pant. It's because of the recent vein of form that he has been in, and also because of the confidence that he has earned over time by playing Test cricket. I think he is one of the players who's improved throughout this Test championship. If you see, initially Rishabh Pant dropping catches, getting criticized, to the Rishabh Pant keeping in India, to bowlers like Ashwin and Akshar Patel. He's become stronger on his legs, he's moving faster. So definitely he's a good keeper in the making, and batting, it's a complete example of how to boss around. That's what Rishabh can do. And talking about New Zealand, I'm afraid they don't have a very quality spinner in their ranks. It's going to be an all pace. So I think it's going to be Bolt and Saudi, my favorites always. And both of them have 27 wickets in England. I think 5 or 6 test matches, one a test match, one person has played more or less, things like that. But they have been pretty good in English conditions because their ability to swing the ball both ways, which is the primary criteria to to do well in England. And actually that's going to pose a lot of threat to Indian batsmen. Which takes me to the next segment, matchups, guys. So what are the players you are looking to see, pair up against like that? I mean, in case of Bolt and Rohit that we were talking about, so who are the other guys you are looking at?
Well, I would go with Rishabh Pant versus one of those New Zealand quicks, simply because odds, the way things are at the moment, looks like they will go with a five-man pace attack, which is a lot of pace. And after a point, no matter how good pace attack you have, it becomes predictable because the batsman is able to tell the lines and lengths that a bowler is going to bowl. And given the kind of form Rishabh Pant is in, given his mindset that you just spoke about, I really want to see how he takes on the New Zealand quicks. Given that this is a one-off test, there's not going to be another test match for India and for him to make a comeback per se. So just the fact that this is one, and which is also why I am sort of also tilting in the favor of the Test Championship final being just a one game, because you can just go all out. There's no chance to make a comeback per se.
You just have 2 innings to make an impact. I mean, if you get a chance to bat for the second time, that is.
So Rishabh Pant versus any one of the New Zealand quicks, really, for me.
Shan?
Yeah, for me, it would be a challenge between Cheteshwar Pujara and the New Zealand pace attack. Why Cheteshwar Pujara? I'll tell you, because it's very simple. Because all of these cricketers have played IPL. They have had match practice. Cheteshwar Pujara last played against England in the Test series. After that, he had to warm the bench in the entire IPL. There was no actually match practice for him. That obviously after the first week of May, all of these cricketers had to, since the IPL was postponed, all of them had to take a break and all. But having said that, they still got that 1 month or 21 days to play in between. Cheteshwar Pujara completely had to warm the bench and just focus on his own drills and all that. But given a player of his caliber, he doesn't need too much of match game practice for that matter. But having said that, since because Pujara unfortunately doesn't have a very good batting average when it comes to the English conditions. He hasn't over the years. It's as compared to Australia or overseas, it's slightly things. So Cheteshwar Pujara will have a lot to prove, and obviously, this is his opportunity as well, because this is a one-off test, like we all have been saying. And in these are the opportunities which actually help a cricketer of his caliber to actually come and be that impact player. So for me, that's the whole.
That's a great pick. But then I'd like to add something to that and also talk about my matchups, because both are somewhat related. To give you some stats, Pujara has got a very poor record against pacers of late, and he averages about 22, and which is going to be a big concern because New Zealand is going to be coming all out to the Indian batsmen. And also, I don't see a chance, which I spoke about earlier. I think they're going to field some four-seamers. And because Colin de Grandhomme is also a handy seam bowling option, and if the weather is rainy and breezy, and if it is the typical English weather that it is, so then it's going to be. I won't be surprised if de Grandhomme goes and picks up 5 wickets. But Pujara averages 22. Gill, I think, averages around 29 against pacers. So both being in the top order, they have to face Neil Wagner, they have to face Trent Boult, they have to face Tim Southee in turns. So when Tim Southee and Trent Boult, they are done, then Neil Wagner will come and start bowling your bouncers and at a really quick pace. So that's going to be a matchup for me, because it's the top order against a pace attack is something that is going to be really, really interesting. Finally, to wrap up, we were talking about the English weather and the conditions and all that. So what do you guys think? What's going to happen? What are your sources saying about the weather conditions right now?
Well, it looks like, as from what I've been reading so far, it looks like there will be rain. Friday there's a forecast for some showers, but of course we have an extra day. There's a 6th day, so one can only hope that rain doesn't play a spoilsport and we have full 5 days or 6 days, or if the 6th day is needed at all, so that we can have a result. Because it will be very unfortunate if at the end of it all, after everything that the World Test Championship cycle had to go through, everything being the pandemic in this case, a result is not out because of poor weather. So yeah, we fingers crossed. At the moment, looks like it won't be sunny throughout, but we should get 5 to 6 days of good cricket.